And we're live. Oh my goodness, here we are. I don't know about you guys. This is very intense days with the election. So we'll see if it gets, called today or tomorrow. Maybe it'll be kind of interesting. I have a prediction out there, so I'm waiting. I'm gonna be playing it.
Nice.
So anyway, hi Rhonda, how are you? And we are going to talk about fun, neat stuff tonight. But let me introduce everybody. So we have our Carla that's with us all the time, Carla Fishinghawk. Hi, Carla.
Hello. Hello.
And pretty in pink is Lady T. Tisha, hello. Thank you for being with
Hi,
us.
Lisa. Thanks.
And Teresa Sampson, who is a great medium, she's here to help facilitate something with Tisha. So we're going to have a lot of fun. We want to say hi to Kate, Lucky Kate. She was a winner in our show that we had trivia. And Rhonda C is here. So we got a lot of people watching. Look at that. Now I want to tell you first off, you guys, to the viewers, I gave away Amazon codes. I finally got everybody paid off from the trivia and the Halloween Wars, and I'm going to give away Amazon code tonight. And if you share the show, okay, so that's what I'm going to put on it. If you share the show, tell me that you shared it, and I will put a ticket in. And at the end, I will draw a name. And if you win, I just need your email in a private message. Okay. And I found out you could do that because I was always sending, codes for Starbucks and stuff. And I go, you know what? Oh my goodness, who doesn't want an Amazon code? So it'll be enough for like a cup of coffee. That's our budget, guys. But we're going to be doing this every show, or every Wednesday. We will give away some Amazon codes. So let me know if you share the show. Hi, Stephen Shipley. First time watching. I thought I saw you before. Nice. But you've got my son's name. I love that. Hi, Angela. What we're going to talk about first is to see what's new with everybody. And then we're going to get into dream interpretation with Lady T. And we want to find all about everything, Tisha, who you are, your business, all those wonderful things. We've had you on the show before. Can I do an announcement? Do I have your permission?
Go ahead.
Okay. I'm happy to announce everyone that Tisha, Lady T, is going to be a regular show on Tuesdays.
Yay.
Nice. Nice.
So
Nice.
Tisha, you're going to have your own show, and she'll be able to, whatever wisdom you want to give to anyone, any advice, interpret their dreams, all that stuff. Because when we get to you, that you are so trained, you have so much education in this field, it's insane. So you are such an asset to come on and do a show on Psychic Fixes. I thank you. And we're kind of pounding out the time and all of that. So I'm so excited. So that was that. Okay, there's my big announcement.
Yay.
Carla.
Love it.
What's
Love
new with you, Carla?
Well, hi. It's me. I'm still doing my same old thing here. My Monday meditations, doing, my regular shows. Wednesdays here with these lovely ladies and other guests that we have. And then also Fridays at 3:00, Debbie and I do the free readings. And then Saturdays, I do my own show at 1:00 till 2 and stuff. So lots of good things happening. I do have an upcoming on a panelist again with Kathy Milanowski with the Reiki group.
Yes.
So I'm going to be doing another show with her. I've been invited back. And this topic that we're going to be discussing is about crystals and how we use crystals in our everyday life for many different, whether it be spiritual, health, just because we like the pretty colors. I mean, whatever, many different ways. Yeah, clearing and stuff like that, and just all how do we treat our crystals and what do we use our crystals for?
Just make sure you do the color part, because I can tell the stories of how color can just be crazy, insane, amazing. So, I watched your last one.
Did you
I
like it? It
watched
was
it.
good.
Oh, I loved it. I loved it.
It
It
was
was
nice.
great.
Thank you.
The
It was
Crystal
nice.
one, I'm there. I'm there for that
Yeah, the
one.
Crystal
Where
one.
can we go to catch that, Carla?
I'm sorry.
Where can we go to catch that show the next
Oh,
one?
you know what? It's in the Reiki studio. It's a closed group that she has. So you can just, it's on my Facebook page. It's with Kathy Milanowski, and it's in the Reiki studio. So you just join the Reiki studio group, and you can watch the shows there. I actually share it onto my Facebook page after the show. But if you want to watch it, it's like at 8 o'clock in the morning. So we do it early because she's like in Wisconsin. So the time change is like it's crazy early for me, but it's okay. But anyways, it's very nice. They're a very lovely group of Reiki healers, shaman. I mean, there's such a huge diverse of ladies and gentlemen, and they're absolutely lovely. And it's I learn a lot. I'm learning more. I love it here as well. I'm just just doing a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So super excited. Many things coming up. Yes.
You also had an insane Halloween costume and had witch's tea.
Yes, I went up there. We went up there and had tea. Well, the tea place is locally here in Escondido. So I went there. That was the very first time I ever went. It was very lovely. It was pretty cute because a lot of people that were there, they stopped and they took pictures, and they're like, "Oh, look at they're all beautiful. They're all witches, and they're all, they thought it was just like a group, like we all just dressed up as witches, and it's like they had no clue.
But you really are.
We really
I
are.
like the horns. I like the horns. That was
Oh,
awesome.
thank you. Yes, I've had those for a little bit. I've never really worn them out, so it was very nice. It was very nice. It was a very beautiful Halloween. Halloween was great. Everybody was safe. It was that kind of thing, and very nice, very lovely. Thank you.
I'm going to switch over though to Teresa. Teresa, you've been on our show. We love you. You're a fantastic medium, and you were involved in writing this Amazon book, which is a bestseller in Kindle. Oh, you have it, The Last Breath.
Wow, I love it.
Yes. It's a compilation book. There's 48 mediums, and it's by Franklin Rose Publishing, and it was compiled by Allison Gannon. And it's it's a nice big thick book with a lot of good stories and true stories of love and connection with the spirit world.
Wow.
And,
well,
so I'm really excited.
You're so special to have you on tonight. Part of the reason is a little bit later, Lady T's going to hear your incredible dream that you had and kind of maybe walk you through that. Sometimes it's so confusing when we have one. And Lady T, I've been dreaming lately, which I never in my life do. And it's like, so like Mike are like, what the heck was that? Why was I doing this or whatever? And so it's really great because if your brain is speaking to you and you need to solve it, it's like being Scooby-Doo investigator.
Yeah.
So anyway, we are going to ask. Well, you know what? Let me say one thing before I finish and we start the show. We next week, Crystal Hardy. I haven't said her name. She is the death doula, and she is going to be here next Wednesday. She hasn't given me some of the links and stuff I need to generate the show and all of that. But she's going to be here talking about her experiences crossing over people. This is her business, to be there at the time of death and to cross people over to the other side, which I'm sure a lot of those are in your book, Teresa, that kind of thing, of
Yes.
what you see in the communication at death and after. So you guys, you got to watch this show. And so anyway, let's go to the fun part, because before we were on, I was telling Lady Tisha, of this crazy, well, somewhat nightmare I had too. So Tisha, tell everybody about you and what you're going to do, and also a little bit about what you plan to do for the new show.
Yeah. Okay. So I am Tisha, and I go by Lady T just because some people have a difficult time remembering Tisha. So either one is fine with me. I'm a certified dream interpreter, and I certified by man, gifted by God. My friend told me I need to say that.
That's nice.
and and even though, and right now I'm working on my PhD in metaphysical counseling. The ultimate goal is to have an urban healing center to do exactly what we're doing. You know, you have the Reiki person, you have the dream interpreter, you have people who help others cross over, to have a location and a place where we all come together, and the community can come as well. And so that's what I do right now. My big thing I'm really excited about is I'm working on a book entitled, well, actually, I'm still working on the title too, but the book, it's all about, I'm collecting dreams from people, dreams that help to change your life. You made a decision based off a dream, or you changed the trajectory of your life once you had a particular dream. So if any of you have a dream and you want to be showcased in the book, feel free to contact me. I'm taking a select number of people, a select number of stories, and putting it into the book. So I would love to hear those stories. So that's my big thing. And I'm really excited to be here on Psychic Fixes on Tuesdays. I think we'll kind of narrow it down to Tuesday mornings around 11 o'clock Eastern time, because I'm on the Eastern time zone, 11 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. And I'll come on every Tuesday morning and just talk about dreams. We'll have a different subject. Tonight, we're going to talk about nightmares and weird dreams and sleep paralysis. Next Tuesday, I got to get a little schedule together, but I think we'll talk about dream symbols and what they mean. If anyone has a dream that they want to submit, and I can interpret it live right there on Psychic Fixes right there in the morning, so we can do that as well. So I'm literally looking forward to it.
Oh, that's going to be really wonderful.
Yes.
So we're ready to start and talk about dreams, and Teresa's here for whenever you want to talk to her about her experience. So I'm going to give it to you right now.
Okay, well, one thing that I have dealt with several times this week, and that's the subject of sleep paralysis. People are really freaking out about sleep paralysis, and I have a video that I've actually put on YouTube about it. But sleep paralysis, if any of you ladies experience that, where you are asleep and you can't wake up and you hear things and see things?
Only when I was young, only when I was little.
Right. And a lot of people say that they've only experienced it at young. And then there are some people say it never happened until they got older. Anything weird happen, Carla, how often do you experience it?
You know what was really weird? It just happened in 2016, and I lived in like the country, and okay, we were outside and we were in the backyard because I lived on a golf course at that time. So there was like sky wide open, the mountains, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And it was really amazing because we had been looking up in the sky, okay, and there was like these just, lights, the stars, just beautiful. There's nothing but sky out there, right? And it was just so amazing because I'm like, look at that light over there, look at that light. It was just so weird, right? And I'm like, you know what, whatever, it was nothing. I went to bed later on, a couple hours later, I went to bed, and all of a sudden I couldn't move. I was asleep, but I didn't know if I was asleep. All of a sudden I saw these like beams of green light come from outside my bedroom window straight into my bedroom, but they were like lines, like green lights just going through. And I'm like, I couldn't even turn around even if I wanted to. It was the weirdest thing. And I don't know how long I lay there. It was just so like weird, but I was trying to scream, cry, move, whatever. And then all of a sudden I just wasn't scared anymore. And then boom, I would like woke up or whatever. And I was able to get up, and I ran into the living room, and I told my husband then, I said, didn't you hear me, like fumbling, trying to, wake up, scream or nothing like that? He's like, no, he didn't hear anything. And I was like, oh my God, I could have been abducted or something. I'm like, I didn't know what was going on. I'll never forget it though. I'll never forget the green lights.
So it only happened one time? I missed that, Debbie. I missed that.
Yes. I saw you. Yes. You know what? And that light that we had seen that night, it was the weirdest thing. And I told him, I said, and I after that happened, I've never told anybody that ever happened to me until right now.
Oh, wow.
True story. I'll never forget it.
it's really challenging when people experience it because you are awake. So what happens really happens with the body is whenever we sleep, we go into a state of paralysis, and our bodies has to become paralyzed so that you won't act out your dream. Your brain is more active when you're asleep than when you're awake, which is really fascinating to think about it, right? And so your body literally goes into a state of paralysis so that you don't act out the dream. So you're in a state of paralysis, but you're now at this particular point, you are now awake. So your consciousness is awake, but your body is asleep. And that's when you get that feeling of being held down, someone sitting on your chest. A lot of people say that happens. You can flicker your eyes, so you see things. But also when you're in that state, what they found is when you're in that state, there's a part of your brain that is activated, which is located near it's the same area where we experience fear. And so that's the reason why people become really fearful. Not only are you paralyzed and you're conscious, but now that part of your brain has been stimulated as well. So it feels very scary. And so people talk about, aliens, they talk about monsters, they talk about seeing spirits. This is when a lot of people say that they have, spirits come in and have sex with them. So you have the incubus stories that's based on sleep paralysis as well. So for the majority of us, it literally is just that. It is sleep paralysis. Your body is paralyzed. Your consciousness is awake. And if you can remind yourself when you experience this, like you said, Carla, I just wasn't afraid, then things will settle down and you can wake up. But you have to be able to remind yourself, this is just sleep paralysis. It's okay. And you have to, just remind yourself to calm down. It's all right. And then you will. But there are a few people who actually do experience aliens. They do have the experience of demons. There are a few people who, dive into that world and they can actually see spirits. And so my suggestion to people who deal with spirits, and you ladies can attest to this, is if you are in that state, you have to remember you have full authority on this particular plane in this 3D world. And so you have the right to tell them to go, to leave you alone. You have the right to make commands, which means, again, you don't have to be afraid. Right? So there are a few people who are experiencing spirits, but most people, 95, 99%, I don't know because I haven't done studies, but most people are just dealing with biological sleep paralysis.
Yeah, it was weird. I was just kind of, oh, okay. I'm like, I'm not afraid. But it was really weird because I felt like this sense of like, it's okay. Don't be afraid. It was like that kind of thing. It was at first I was like, and then after that, I just felt this overwhelming peace come over me out of just like nowhere, and so I thought, oh, okay, cool. And then I woke up.
Excuse me?
Have you had the experience?
Yes, and it's like the silent scream when you're stuck and you're screaming and there's no sound and you can't move. That I just I had a dream kind of like that not too long ago where I usually when I wake up in the morning I'll say some prayers and affirmations. And I got up and got some coffee, and I remembered I didn't do it. So I went and laid back down, and I started doing that. And all of a sudden, it's just this weight came over me, and then everything blacked out. And I thought, well, I'm dying. And I really thought that I was dying. And then everything went black. And then I was outside, and I saw these little flashing blue lights. And then I was back in the bed, and I was awake. And but it was it was like, how can you go get your coffee and then lay back down and just have something? That was just bizarre because it wasn't like I went back to sleep. I went back just to be in, do my routine.
Right. And more than likely, you did go back to sleep. I mean, your body went back to sleep, but you were doing your routine. You were saying your affirmations. You were still awake consciously. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because when you say when everything all of a sudden just went black, it was probably your eyelids closed.
Not
And
confused. Yeah.
you're like, I'm awake, but I'm asleep. Yeah, so there's that duality, that play where you're in between two worlds, and it is a really weird feeling. I've only had it happen to me twice, but I hear people talk about it all the time, and they're so afraid. And one woman even told me, she said, Tisha, it is not sleep paralysis. She said, people literally, she said, I've been having this experience since I was a child. I literally can hear someone tap on the door, and then all of a sudden they'll just come in the room. And that's when they sit on my chest. That's when, so she explains everything like it is actually a sleep paralysis, a biological reaction. But she says, but I wake up in the morning, I have bruises on me. She said, I'm waking up and I've had scratches on me. So hers is more than likely she's dealing with spiritual entities that are, so that may be her story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
that happened to me.
Did it?
Yeah, that my hag story in my book, where I got in bed and my husband was next to me, and I saw like ectoplasm at the end of the bed, and so I watch it form into a face, and I got the psychic alarm. This is not friendly, and so this grotesque kind of woman face came on, and then she softened when I go, God, I really want this to be friendly, and she softened, and then she came back to this old hag. So I go, okay, I'm going to climb down the bed and put my hand through her because I'm not afraid. I want to see, is she cold? What the heck are you doing here, in my room? And so I got up on my arm to climb down, and I couldn't move. And I was like going, I could see her down there. And I thought, how am I going to move? I'm awake. And I'm like, how am I going to move? And my husband's asleep and I'm up on my elbow, like that, ready to go. And so I go, maybe if I say something, I can get out of this. So my mouth wasn't working, but the side of my mouth, I go, wow. And she fell apart and dissipated. And I went up and I said, I'm so pissed off. How don't you please me? And so, maybe I was wide awake. So I only know that what I saw. I couldn't move anything and I was pissed off.
Yeah. And so, go ahead, Carla.
No, I was say, don't mess with Debbie, man. She don't play.
I was like, well, I'll come down. Oh, I almost said the B word.
Yeah, I know. I was like, crying, screaming, and begging. Debbie's like, no, come on, get closer. I want you to.
Not today, Satan. And so Carla knows I got one of those calls, one of those weird phone calls. I recorded it this time.
No.
And he's like,
no way. I would have thrown it in the trash. You got me. You gotta send it to the girls. You gotta send it to them.
I send you the auto recording. You better exercise your computer then. Yeah. I get that stuff all the time and I just say, not today, Satan, and hang up.
And so have you noticed that when you command a spirit to, I hope it softens, or I hope this is a nice spirit. Have you noticed that when you do that, when you say that they do change or they go away?
In this instance, oh yeah. I am no nonsense with them. And if I want them gone, I do it. But my forte is protective magic. Mm-hmm. And so, Tammy and we did this really great show on protective magic. And so I go after the stuff if I have to, and I get rid of it. And yeah, they will go away. If you say you're not allowed in here, get out, or you say the prayer to make them get out. Sure, I do that.
Right. And so being afraid of them causes more problems, more harm. Have you experienced, Carla, when you're afraid that they get stronger, or do you have the ability to be afraid but still tell them to go away?
I kind of get I kind of get in that little bit of fear zone, that little bit, and I'm like, wait, I got control of this, and then I handle it. You know what I mean? I still am very in the very beginning, I get a little bit into that fear, but then I compose, you know, I get myself back, and then I'm like, okay, no, we're not doing this. And then I step into my power, which is something that I never really did before. But now I'm just kind of like, okay, I'm good. You know, I'm getting much better the first time around where I don't get that fear.
Good. And that's the thing. You got to remember to walk in your power. And that's whether you're talking about sleep paralysis or you're just in the, you know, regular world, even walking around in the street dealing with people, right? You have to walk in your power. If you show intimidation, if you show fear, if you don't know your sovereignty and your power, people will take advantage of you. Spirits will take advantage of you. But again, 99% of us, 95%, 98%, whatever statistical number I can pull up, majority of us are dealing with just basic biology. And that's what we have to remember, which means, again, you don't have to be afraid. And so it's the same thing, even when it comes to nightmares, right? People are very much afraid of nightmares. And nightmares are really powerful because every dream is your subconscious mind giving you a message, giving you a warning, giving you some help, giving you some wisdom. And nightmares is just an exaggerated story. So when you have a nightmare, instead of letting it freak you out for the rest of the day, you want to instead keep yourself calm and ask yourself, what does this have to do with my life? What is this saying about my life? What is the subject? Most of us wake up and we was like, wow, what is that dream about? What was that about? That was really weird.
Yeah.
Ask that question. Instead, ask the question, what is this saying about my life? Or what area of my life is this dream talking about? And you sit still with that so that you can get the answer.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just saying a lot of the inner work that I've done, like over the past 5 years, I think I have less and less of those types of dreams of, you know, I think a lot of the more inner work that I've done and the more that I continue to do, I dream less, but what I do dream, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I noticed that my nightmares growing up and stuff were all what related to the movies I watched.
Yes.
Scary movies.
Yes.
Like, I think, you know what? I had 4 older sisters, and we all loved like Elvira, and on Saturdays. And so I was exposed to lots of movies I should not have been watching. Like a big robot's coming after me.
Right. And so some of the dreams are just, we're processing the things that we've seen throughout the day. And then there are other dreams which is the actual message. It literally is a message for you. And if you remember the dream, I always say, if you remember the dream, then there is a message, and that's what you need to pay attention to. But with the nightmares, don't freak out. Ask the question, what does this have to do with my life and what area of my life? So one of my dreams, I'm like you, Carla, the more I work on myself, the less nightmares that I have. And I haven't had one in a while. My last one I had was the one that I used to have quite often. And that is, I'm spanking one of these kids. Right on, Mom. And politically correct to spank children, but that's the thing that makes it so weird, because we don't spank the children. We have 5. And so the first one, the first kid, we're kind of learning what to do. And so I did spank him the first, couple of years. And then as time went on, I realized, okay, my kids are so great. I hate to sound like one of those parents, but my kids are so great. I really didn't have to spank them. There was one in particular that needed a regular beat down, but, I had learned at that point, he was kid number 3. I had learned how to discipline without spanking. But I used to have a dream with that first child. And then I had one just recently, but the constant dream was, I'm spanking the kid and he is not paying any attention to me. He could care less. He's not hurt by it. He's watching television, and I'm just beating him. I'm looking for something to hit him with and something else. And I'm sweating, and I wake up in a sweat, and I wake up panicking. And I always wake up going, what does that mean? Do I hate my children? What is going on with me? And it would make me go into a panic mode. Now, I know that dream means nothing to anyone else, but that's so beyond who I am that is my freaking nightmare. Yeah. And I would always ask, what does that dream mean? And being a dream interpreter, of course, it's hard to interpret your own dreams. I have to check myself.
Yeah.
And I could never really figure out what the dream meant. But now I'm on the other side of parenting. The youngest kid is 13. So I'm on the other side of parenting now, and I can clearly see, oh, those dreams were always about me being afraid that I wasn't having an impact on them.
Oh, that's deep.
Right? I wasn't having an impact. Will they hear me? Will they pick up the lessons that I'm giving them? That's really what that dream was about. But
yeah, that's deep though.
Yeah.
Well, Lady T, I brought Teresa on because Teresa told me this dream of hers, and I think she might want to know what it might mean.
Okay, great. Let's hear it, Teresa.
Yes. Well, I woke up and it was like I was laying in bed, and I woke up and I got up and I walked around. We live where there's been hurricanes recently, and so I moved all of my metaphysical books and my cards into this one corner where it would be safe if winds blew in or whatever. Anyway, I got up and I walked over to that area, and as I picked my foot up, it was my left foot, this snake struck and grabbed onto the side of my foot, and I could feel as the venom started coming up my body. It went up my legs, and I could feel it coming up like into my abdomen. And then I was laying in my bed, and I was shaking my foot to make the snake let go. And I continued to feel, and then I was awake, but I could continue to feel the sensation of this. It was like a warmth and a tingling and a rising sensation. And it was just very different. But I don't like snakes, but I wasn't afraid.
Okay, you went out for a second, Teresa. Give me that last couple of sentences.
I said, I don't like snakes, but I was not afraid.
All right. So in the dream, you weren't afraid. And when you woke up, you were actually shaking your foot, and you could feel the sensation of.
It was like the venom. I could feel it coming up my body. And then it stayed like that for a couple of hours afterwards. It was like tingling and sensation of warmth, and it just kept going, throughout my body.
Okay. When so that particular week, so whenever you are interpreting your own dreams, you always want to ask the question. This goes for anyone. You always want to ask the question, how did I feel in the dream? So even though she doesn't like snakes, she wasn't panicking. It wasn't scary, right? So that's a good thing. And also when you wake up, don't throw emotions into the dream. So it'd be really easy to wake up and go, what was that about? Oh, it was a snake. That was just freaky. That was so crazy. And then allow your emotions of not liking snakes to jump into the dream, because you didn't have that emotion in the dream. So always ask yourself the question, how did I feel in the dream? The next question is, what was going on that particular week or the couple of days prior to the dream? Because that's going to influence what your subconscious, the message that your subconscious was trying to give you. So do you remember, I know you said there were hurricanes going on.
Yes, there were a couple in this season, and and this is just my projection, but I do a meditation, and it's where I have, like, in the different chakras, in the low chakra, the base chakra, it's the, how you say it, caduceus, the medical symbol with the snakes that are twined with the staff and the wings. And it's just, for me, that's a visualization of the Kundalini rising. And but that's the only thing that I knew of that might fit with the type of thing that was going on, as far as the sensation of the rising.
Right.
But I don't know what it meant.
Actually, that's it. And I was going to say that, but then that would just cut everything too short. I wanted to talk about how to interpret your dreams, but really, just you're saying that for the next 2 hours you had that feeling. I was going to ask you the final question I was going to ask you, which would lead you to exactly where you were, was what were your meditation practices at the time? I was going to ask you, what were you doing spiritually? Because that says a lot when you have the dream that it happened, and especially when it feels real. And then you have the sensation, and you literally have the sensations for a couple of hours. Mm-hmm. Looking like, I had the dream and I can still feel the dream. It's like there was literally a change in my body for a couple of hours. So, yeah, you solved the problem right there, Teresa. You made it too easy.
Well, I always would like for that to be happening. I would much prefer that to happen than something else, But thank you.
So yes, let's speak to. So did you notice this? Here's another question. So did you notice any changes in your psyche, in your spiritual walk, in your spiritual journey for over the next couple of days, 2 or 3 days, or couple of weeks?
Yes, I feel that I did. This has only been like a month ago that it happened, but it's, my life it's just lots of transitions and just more calm and open and receptive to the spirit world and I would say transformation, that type of thing.
Good. Excellent. Write that dates down. Did you do that?
Yeah, I wrote it down. I actually posted it on Facebook just to see if anybody would have an interpretation, but and I'm terrible at writing things down, so I did.
Yeah. You have your own interpretation, and this is the thing when it comes to dream interpretation. It's your subconscious mind giving you a message, or it's a direct download from spirit giving you a message, one or the other. And so the answer to it. You have the interpretation within yourself. Sometimes it takes talking it through with other people, but the answer yourself. So yeah, that was it. It.
Thank you.
Oh, that was great. And so awesome. You guys, just to remind some of the people that are new right now, is Tisha, Lady T, will be doing a show on Tuesdays around 11 a.m. Eastern time, starting next week, I believe. And you can ask her questions, and she can impart all her wisdom and whatever subject she wants to talk about. So this is exciting. We struggle sometimes for answers of these kind of crazy dreams sometimes. And it really helps us in many ways, because I always say this, and so does Carla, you communicate in your dreams. So be it you're communicating with yourself to figure something out, or spirit comes in and communicates with you. Right. So she'll help you figure that out. So I love that. I call Kate for having a great dream. I've been reading everybody's dreams, but Kate had this man with the owl head. I love it. With wings in the jackets. I mean, in the sleeves. I'm just like best thing, Kate. I love it.
Baby, yeah, baby, that was Elvis, baby. That was Elvis, baby.
Oh my God, I had an Elvis dream. I hardly ever dream, and one time I did have an Elvis dream. But and he, you know what? I'm sorry, you guys, don't yell at me. No nasty anythings. But he wasn't in my generation. He was in my older sister's generation, and didn't care for him. And it was like, and so all of a sudden I remember it was like as real as anything can be. There's Elvis, and I'm like, what's that? Could you have David Cassidy or something? Davy Jones, somebody I know, right. Elvis. So yeah, it was really crazy. We want to always know what these crazy things are. But Kate, you are so far the only one in for a ticket for the Amazon code. Yeah. I bet you're going to win. But I love that. I can actually see like the owl head man with the wings in the sleeves. I can see him in a plaid jacket. I mean, I'm like, yeah.
And he was singing "Hunka Hunka Burning Love."
Oh my goodness. Kathy had one. Let's see what she said. Kathy said she had a vivid dream the other night of walking across a highway, looking up into the sky, and it was choppy clouds with sunshine. And she woke to let the dog out, looked up, in the same clouds and the same sunshine.
Yeah, I love when that happens. I absolutely love when that happens. It's really weird, but we can see things in advance. I call those kind of dreams God winks, where God just says, you're in the right place. You're in the right place. Look at this. It's almost like a little, when it happens to me, I see it as a little joke. I'm like, oh, that's so sweet of you to just kind of give me confirmation. I'm in the right place. This is exactly where I'm supposed to be.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Those are important.
It's like validation.
Right.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
But here's a classic one. I got to tell you. Michelle dreams that her teeth are falling out.
Yeah.
Really?
That's.
I have had dreams that they were loose. I never, I go, oh, that was weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a really common dream, and usually when we're dreaming about the teeth falling out or the teeth being loose, it's one or two things in particular. You're either concerned about your appearance on a certain level in your physical life, in your real life.
Okay.
You're concerned about your appearance, concerned about getting old, you're concerned about how you look to people. So you have to think about what area in your life that's kind of freaking you out. Or it's about communication. You are afraid that you said the wrong thing you shouldn't have said, and now you're trying to put the words back in your mouth, or the words are falling out and you don't have any control over the words. So it says be mindful of what you speak and what you're saying. Some cases you may have to go back and apologize.
So we have a Halloween dream, Wendy. Wendy, this is creepy. I dreamt that I walked into my room. It was covered in spiders and webs.
Oh.
I pulled the covers from the bed to lay down, and there were spiders in my bed. And I was surprised and disappointed that I couldn't get into bed.
Interesting.
So dreams like this, I definitely need to ask questions. So questions, Wendy, would be, I mentioned earlier, how did I feel? And in this case, you were surprised and disappointed. So you weren't freaking out or scared. What was going on that week or a couple of days? And, if this was recent, Halloween, we had the Halloween situation going on. That's the other question to ask yourself. What do spiders mean to you? You can Google that and get one answer, but that may not apply to you. So when you are Googling your dreams, and I have a video out on that as well, why you should not Google your dreams. But when you Google your dreams, before you ever do that, you want to sit and think specifically, what do spiders mean to me? What are 3 words that come to mind immediately when I say spiders? Because that's going to be different from what Debbie said, what Debbie thinks of spiders, or Carla or Teresa. So you want to look at your own symbolism, because your subconscious mind is talking to you in your language. And so when you do that, Wendy, you should be able to come up with some understanding of what that dream meant.
Wow. I'm like, spider thing. Oh my goodness. I'm not afraid of spiders at all, but I don't want them around.
Yeah.
And so, when you say like 3 things, I'm like splat, yeah. All my friends like, little spiders, come, I will take you to the garden and put you on my sunflower. And I'm like, we're going to get.
Yeah.
And I say, angels, keep them out of my yard. They can be up the hill, out of my patio, because, Karma may come back as a damn spider, running from the Debbie incarnate.
I don't have a fear of spiders. People freak out over spiders. My children freak out over spiders. I'm like, what spiders are? They don't do anything. And you step on them, they immediately crush and die. Now, the thing I do hate, these palmetto bugs, which are gigantic cockroaches. I even hate to say the word. They are this big and they are nasty. If you kill them, you get gush and all. Spiders, give me 1,000 and I don't care. We'll take them.
Mine is the poisonous ones, because they in Southern California, somebody brought them in, the brown widows, and they're everywhere. And you have the black widows, and I've been bit by them. Okay. And so, but if you have the brown ones, they'll have multiple egg sacs and they're spiky. And so, and then now I see the black widow, brown widow.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh gosh, you guys got together. This is not good.
They're mutating by your house, Debbie. They know how much you love that.
I know it. I said, I got ortho defense. Get the
Good Lord.
Go
I
to
can
my
do that.
neighbors or something. Hey,
I can do that.
Angela had a take on the teeth thing. I used to be my dream all the time about the loose teeth. I used to dream my teeth are falling out or my teeth are loose. I can just push the teeth out with my tongue. I always go to bed wondering if that day I said anything I shouldn't have said, or if I said something I shouldn't have said.
Ah.
It's communication or appearance. And or it could be, and this is the reason why I say you got to stop and check. It could be that your teeth are coming out. Because I had a dream one time. That I lost my teeth and I was freaking out in the dream. And I can't remember the dream. I just know that I woke up going, and that was a dream. I woke up freaking out. And about a week later, I fell down the stairs and I knocked out my two front teeth.
Oh, dang. That was a premonition.
Yeah.
Give me a Coke. That was a premonition.
Exactly. And so with dreams, you got to check yourself, because sometimes, and this is the reason why I like to ask questions. Some people do have premonitions and they're not even aware of it. And they'll go to Google and get one answer and totally miss out on, what's gonna actually happen.
Oh yeah. Now I have a lot of clients that have predicted plane crashes, and earthquakes and all kinds of stuff. They come to me and say, where do I go tell someone? I'm saying, you can't just call up someone and say, rally the troops, you have a 7.5 coming, or anything like that. Yeah. It's difficult.
I dreamed 911. I dreamed that bright, and then I woke up and took a shower and turned the TV on, and there it was. It was like, whoa. Oh
man!
They said lots of people were dreaming about the towers crashing weeks in advance. But that's the thing that's so unfortunate with society. We don't take into account dreams. We don't value our dreams, which is the reason why I'm like, we got to get to that place again, and we have to pay attention to our dreams. And if we accepted it as a society, then there would be a place where people could call. You don't have to call, the airport, but there could be a place where we could call and report the dreams. And then there will be a group who will look at all these dreams that are coming in about the towers falling. Ooh, let's be aware.
Yeah. We need a website like that too. Predictions. I've always wanted to do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I know. Didn't some people call in like to the FBI or something like that, CIA or something like that, like before 9/11 happened?
You got it. They're going to be knocking on your door.
Yeah, I believe some people did, and they're like, phooey. And I think I saw that in the documentary or something, that a lot of people had called in, and they're like, nah, man, and then they look back. They look back and they're like, crap, maybe we should have listened. But it was also from other people that had, whatever. But I mean, like they say, we can't check every single one out. We can't stop.
It's such a serious thing. It really is. Because as mediums here, and not every medium looks at the future, but I can go in any time. Anytime you give me a date, I'm going to tell you what's going on. And that's a blessing. So this is really neat to be talking about this. And I would love to have like a prediction wall, and everybody just write, I see this happening, and see if you're right. Look at you're publicly there, validated. But Stephen has a really interesting thing. I got to show his.
Oh yeah.
When I have a nightmare, it usually involves stingrays. I usually have to swim across water infested with stingrays. I've learned they're a shadow totem animal of mine. They're the animal I most fear. Wow. You know what, Stephen? A long time ago, as I've grown up, there's been a couple times in my life where there's been gigantic rays. I mean, gigantic ones that people have hooked on at piers. There's your nightmare. I mean, these things were gigantic things. It took days to pull them in. Unfortunately, they pulled them in back in the day. In my time, people did that kind of stuff. The only reference is, Steve Irwin. getting killed by one. And that's where I, because I have not stepped on one, Carla and I are both beach babies. We have beaches, but I don't know, Lady T, what does he have to do to kind of figure that out? Just take it for granted it's a totem.
Yeah, I would think that for Stephen, and he probably knows this already, but I would say that when you have that nightmare, you want to make sure that you are paying attention to what have you been avoiding or fearing for the last week or couple of weeks, and or if you're one who have dreams that are premonitions, what's coming up that you're going to be afraid of, and maybe that's what the dream is warning you about. So just if that is your shadow totem, then the question is, what am I fearing? Since that's the animal that you fear most, what am I fearing? What am I afraid of? What happened in the dream? Are you running away? Are they sitting with you? Are they jumping out at you? Because that all speaks to what the message that the dream is trying to give you as well.
Wow. Mine is I watched Jaws. Again, I should not have watched Jaws.
Yep, that banana boat scene just cut it for me.
I'm totally not in the ocean water anymore.
Yep.
It's nice. Wave to everybody out there on the surfboards.
Ankle deep. Well,
I was out at La Jolla when I was a teenager, and my sister and her husband were fishing, and in came a shark. It was a cyan shark, but they looked just like a shark. I was out with that. No. So, that was really great.
I know for me, I've learned I cannot look at scary movies. I cannot look at movies that keep images in my head because I use visualization to manifest, and I can't have wrong images popping in my head, or, I'm thinking, I'm visualizing this. My visualization is so strong that if I see something weird or scary, it'll stay with me and it'll interrupt me in my manifestation. So I don't look at scary movies at all.
It's like a friggin' song. I hate that. Getting the song stuff, and then you're singing it, and you're going, and it's something really cheesy and bad, and you're going, what is this? Get out of my head. Get out of my head.
Yep. We were like that the other day. That was the other day. I had this stupid song in my head. And I'm like, oh, geez, squirrel. I'm like, squirrel, bring me the squirrel so I can focus on something else.
Well, you guys, this has been really great, and we're out of time. I'm going to first say that I did see that Kate said that she shared the show. So, Kate, because you're good at this. Hey, look I pulled your name out. The only way I know.
Right.
Private message me on Psychic Fixes, and I will. Baby shark. Yeah.
Thanks, Kate. Now we got that in our head all night.
Right. That is a song that will stick in your head.
So, Kate, private message me, and I'll send you an Amazon code. Okay. So, congratulations. Thank you for sharing. So, you guys, Lady T, we will see you Tuesday, and we'll get all the stuff on and advertise so everybody knows you're there. And Angela, PM me, and I'll send you a code as well. Okay. Private message Psychic Fixes Facebook page with your emails, and I'll send you both an Amazon code. See? I can be generous. It's enough for a couple tacos, or
I love it.
Let them add up, because Kate just adds them up. She'll be able to get a balloon someday. Okay. All right. She said that. Thank you for a fun early hour.
Nice.
So you guys, Teresa, we will please be in again, and just the best of luck to you with that wonderful book, and thank you for sending it to me. And I did get the Kindle thing, so that was really great. It's just wonderful that you were a part of that, and you're such a great medium. And where can people find you?
teresasampson.com.
There you go, and look her up, see a little bit more about her, and she's a great medium, so please use her. And you, Carla, we can find you in the post, because we have your links in there, and Tisha, we have your links as well. And thank you so much, Tisha, for coming on board, because it's just like my dream. The wellness center is what I want to have here on the West Coast as well. And my dream is to try to make Psychic Fixes well-rounded. I'm courting a Reiki master at this time, and to have somebody talk about the dreams and the meditations that Carla does, and Kristen and Griselle. It's just wonderful. And I can't wait to add more people to the mix. And I do have someone from Canada that has got fabulous psychic reviews that she wants to be on the show this month. And she's came to me because she was interested in doing a show on Psychic Fixes. So we're going to see what we can do about that as well, and really pack this 24/7, this fan page of, where you guys can get your answers. Now, I know a lot of you asked, some reading questions for tonight, but we just didn't have time. But guess what? Friday, Carla, are you on for it?
Oh, yeah, I'm here.
Free readings at 3:00?
Yeah, 3:00.
Pacific. Okay. We do an hour of free readings. So look us up. And if you miss it, see Carla on Saturday at
1.
What time? 1:00.
1:00.
All right.
Yeah, 1:00.
All right, you guys. Carlos is in the house.
Yeah, Carlos, thank you.
Okay, you guys. You guys stay on for just a minute and we're saying goodbye. Bye, you guys.
Bye. Thank you.